Come on. Level up. Yes. Okay, first question. Who's an Eagles fan? What the heck? Oh gosh, I'm assuming you guys have yelled out your. Are you Giants fans? Giants fan? What in the world? Somebody told me that. Yeah. Somebody told me they did it to get a higher seed in the draft. What the heck? Gosh. Anyway, so you missed out on history, though. If the Eagles had defeated the Washington football team, the Giants would have won the division. With what record? 6-10. Yeah, the record is still 7-9. In fact, the Washington football team are now the third team in NFL history. If you don't count, third team in NFL history, I believe, to win a division with a losing record. I believe it was and I'm going to show you a video on this. I have something on the 2010 Seahawks, the 2014 Panthers, and now the 2020 Washington football team. It's very hard for me not to say Redskins. I know, right? They're literally the Washington football team. That's their name. Yeah. Anyway, which begs the question to you all. First thing that I actually want to do today. What is the worst possible record that you could have and still win your division? Ooh. You have 6 division games. So you got to play each person in your division twice. I got a video on that. So that's actually where I want to start. I know we were doing stuff with linear regression, which I am coming back to today. I do have things for you that I would like to do in regards to linear regression, which I'm going to review with you. But the first thing I want to talk about, because of the idea of the NFL playoffs, I have 2 specific videos for you. One being, after this advertisement. Come on, advertisement. Boom. There we go. The title of this video is, What's the Fewest Wins Needed to Make the Playoffs? So I'll move this over here. By the way, just for the sake of argument, the 2010 Seahawks won a playoff game. The 2014 Panthers won a playoff game. Who the heck knows if the Redskins are going to be... I did it again. The Washington football team is able to do it. I was really hoping... Now, honestly, I'm not a Giants fan, but I was hoping for a 6-10 team because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know who's a Dolphins fan? Blasi. Just saying, McTaggart's definitely not a Dolphins fan.
I'm going to describe how an NFL team with no wins could actually make the playoffs. For now, this remains a theoretical possibility. The team with the worst record to have made the playoffs is the Seattle Seahawks at 7-9. But who knows what will happen this year or in the future. In this video, we're going to do a mathematical calculation.
Someone get that?
We're going to look at the lowest number of wins you can have and still make the playoffs. We're going to show the answer is 0. The other topic is we're going to see the most number of losses a team could have and still make the playoffs. And that answer is 13 losses. Let's look at how the NFL structures its game and schedules. There are two conferences, the AFC and the NFC. And within each conference are 4 divisions. And each of these divisions represents 4 teams, and each division is guaranteed a playoff spot. Each team plays 16 games in a year. 4 of these games are against another division within the same conference. There are another 4 games that are scheduled to a division in another conference. There are also 2 games that are played within the same conference, but in different divisions. And finally, the most important part is there are 6 games played within the same division. So each of the 4 teams within the division play each other twice. Now let's calculate the least number of wins a team in a division can have and still make the playoffs. So we're going to try and make all 4 of the teams in the division really bad. So we're going to say those teams lose all 4 of their games in the same conference playing the other division. They can also all lose all 4 games against the other conference. And they could also lose 2 games against the other divisional rivals in the same conference. Where it gets tricky is where they play the same division. Since we don't want anyone to have wins, we could say all of those games end up in ties. This would leave a team with a record of 0, 10, and 6, and all 4 teams could actually have this, meaning they would have no wins and one of them would make the playoffs. What if we want to know the most number of losses? Well, once again, we can say that each of the 4 teams is going to lose against the divisions they play against, would also lose the remaining divisional games in the same conference. Now, in terms of the same division, the most losses you could have is 3, and there's a mathematical reason for this. The reason is that every loss for one team will be a win for another because of the way the head-to-head matchups are set up. So mathematically, this means the best team within the division won't have more than 3 losses. And this is by the pigeonhole principle. So the worst team in a division, the best team could have a record of 3-13. All 4 of them could have that and still make the playoffs. It's really weird that a 0-win team or a 3-win team could actually make the playoffs. But that's how the NFL playoff system is currently formatted. It's no wonder people are calling for changes in the system. Please subscribe to my channel.
Now, mind you, this guy made this video 6 years ago. NFL.com. Let's go. Yeah, NFL NFC East 2020 wiki. I won't show it to me. Whatever. I just wanted to get the NFC East isolated right here. I can zoom in on them right here. That'd be great. Look at this pathetic division. Look at this pathetic division. If the Eagles had beaten the Washington football team, then you would have had Washington at 6-10, the Giants at 6-10, the Cowboys at 6-10, and the Eagles at 5-10-1. I'm sorry, but this is I've been watching football for a very long time. This is the most ridiculous division I've ever seen in my life. Compare that to the best division in football. Just saying right here, you know. You don't shake your heads, but it's all whatever. All right. Oh, goodness gracious. Go Cleveland Browns. Are the Browns playing the Steelers in the first round? Oh, my gosh. It's going to be an amazing game. I cannot wait. Now, I mentioned the previous teams who made the playoffs with a losing record. In fact, let's see, 2014 NFL season. If you go to the 2014 NFL season, come on, you. There we go. The Carolina Panthers, you can see right here, won their division being 7-8-1. 7-8-1. And they won the division. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what would have happened if they were 7-9. If they were 7-9, would they still have won? I don't know. Maybe they would have. They had a better division record than the Saints. But what's the first tiebreaker? Do you guys know if it's division record or head-to-head record? Hold on. NFL tiebreaker division. Tie-breaking procedures. That's the postseason right there. Oh, here we go. If at the end of the regular season, 2 more clubs in the same division finish with identical records, the following steps will be taken. Head-to-head. Yeah, there you go. Head-to-head. And then best win-loss tie within the division, percentage in common games, percentage of games with the conference, strength of schedule, or victory, combined ranking, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what the last tiebreaker is? I've purposely not scrolled down to it. Look at the last tiebreaker. Literally. That's the most messed up thing you've ever seen in your life. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. That was 2014. And I do have one additional thing to show you on the 2010 Seattle Seahawks. Because I don't know, how old were you guys in 2010? Okay, good answer. 7 or 8 years old, maybe? Seattle Seahawks. 7-9, won the division. What the heck happened? They ended up winning a playoff game. Do you know what was so significant about the playoff game that they won? Yes, it was. Hold on. I'm sorry, but is this not the coolest advertisement you've ever seen? I purposely left it on. I don't know why. All right, back to this.
We currently live in a pivotal time in human history. Changes in the environment are threatening our way of life, and an increase in natural disasters, such as earthquakes, are claiming lives across the globe. But one quake, registered on local seismographs, was the result not of an earth in revolt, but of a people in shock and ecstasy. Marshawn Lynch's beastquake in the 2010 wildcard plowed its way into the history books, launching the Seahawks past the defending champs. A wrecking ball years before wrecking balls were a sex symbol. But it distracts from a Seahawks season that was marked in history for a much different reason. The Seattle Seahawks hosted a weekly masterclass in futility, a season of disappointment ultimately rewarded with a playoff berth. This is the worst division winner. January 11th, 2010, Pete Carroll signs a 5-year deal to be the Seattle Seahawks' next head coach, leaving USC in his dust. He replaces Jim Mora, who was set adrift following a 5-11 record in 2009. Carroll and the Seahawks had their sights set on the future, and with rookies like Russell Okung, Earl Thomas, Golden Tate, and Cam Chancellor, the team was ready to take the next step. On Sunday, September 12th, the Seahawks opened their season against the 49ers, and things went as they hoped they would. Seattle spanked San Francisco 31-6, behind QB Matt Hasselbeck's 2 passing touchdowns, along with a rushing TD. However, it was a San Francisco team that would go winless against teams above 500 at the end of the year. They did, however, pick up some quality wins against the Chargers and Bears, as well as the lowly Cardinals, but also put up some stinkers against the subpar Broncos and Rams. They entered their Week 8 matchup against the Raiders with a respectable 4-2 record and sat atop the NFC West. But it was here in Oakland that the cracks would really begin to show. It was the 3rd game for running back Marshawn Lynch, who they acquired from Buffalo prior to their Week 5 bye. He rushed for 133 yards and a touchdown over the course of his first 2 games with the team, but hit the first snag of his young tenure, rushing for 7 yards on 9 attempts in Seattle's demoralizing 33-3 loss to the Raiders. The problem with the Seahawks seemed to be their offense and their defense, arguably the 2 most important parts of the game. But hey, each week is a new week. Clean slate. That's why they play the game. If you get knocked down, you got to get back. Oh my God, it's 21-0 in the first. The 7 loss to the Giants in Week 9. But wait a minute, overweight narrator. That's not Matt Hasselbeck. That must explain the sudden losses. Well, voice in my head, you're half right. Charlie Whitehurst, acquired from the Chargers in the offseason, threw for 69 yards and 2 interceptions in the first 3 quarters, taking over starting duties for Hasselbeck, who would struggle to stay healthy all season. He padded his stats on the final pass of the day, a 36-yard touchdown to Ben Obama points. But that was Charlie Whitehurst's first career start. Hasselbeck had the reins in Oakland, and his 163-yard, 1-interception stat line gave way to their waterboarding at the hands of the Raiders. To his credit, Hasselbeck righted the ship in Week 10 with a solid performance against the Cardinals. It was their first win since, well, the Cardinals in Week 7. And the Cardinals are trash. They are the banana peel next to the dirty diaper on top of the used coffee filter, spilling grounds into the mouth of the old doll head that make up the NFC West. The 5-4 Seahawks only won 1 game out of the next 6, and it was against the 1-10 Carolina Pea Stains. This set up a winner-take-all Sunday night paint-eating contest between the 6-9 Seahawks and the 7-8 Rams. Hooray! Sadly, Matt Hasselbeck suffered a gruesome jogging accident against the Bucs in Week 16, and slated to start this pivotal matchup was local ayahuasca shaman and part-time pick-priced knockoff quality rookie quarterback Sam Bradford. The 2 quarterbacks combined for a touchdown and an interception. But Seattle rejoiced. That touchdown was Whitehurst. The 2010 Seattle Seahawks were officially the first team to win their division with a losing record, and the first team to advance to the playoffs with a losing record since the 1982 lockout shortened season. Now, if you'll allow me, I'd like to regurgitate some numbers for you. The Seahawks finished with the 5th worst point differential in the league, minus 97, the worst by any team to ever qualify for the postseason. No other playoff team has ever lost more of 21 points. They finished the season ranked 28th in yards gained and 27th in yards allowed. But on January 8th, 2011, a rumbling 67-yard beastquake with 3.5 minutes remaining in the fourth carried the Seahawks to a wild-card victory over the 11-5 defending champion New Orleans Saints, successfully erasing the memories of a season steeped in dirty toilet water for months before being forcefully drank by the entire NFL world. This is why they play the game.
I just find that absolutely phenomenal. The fact that the NFC East has been this bad, but I don't know. I remember this very vividly, but oh goodness gracious, who won the Super Bowl that year? Now I gotta see. Now it's gonna bug me unless I know. Any guesses? Guesses. Oh goodness. Looks like the Packers beat the Steelers that year. Good. Okay. Here's what I would like to do. I'm about to pass out to you a piece of paper with some information that you're going to need in order to pick up where we left off at the end of December. For those of you that are in the live stream, I am going to be posting a PDF with this same information so that you can also follow along with what we're about to do. So, no, my paperwork. There we go. Let's do this first. There we go. Let me get this posted in Google Classroom, Google Drive. There you are. PDF for today. Post. Boom. Good. And just in case, we're going to need these for today, just in case you don't have them out, please have those Chromebooks out and open and logged on. You're going to need your calculators on them for today. So for those of you in the live stream, I just posted the PDF into the Google stream so that you can follow along with what we are about to do. Okay. Click. There we go. Click. Okay. Oh, just so before I forget, for my fantasy football champions, I do have, I'm looking into, as I mentioned earlier in the year, getting little mini trophies, just because I think that would be fun. Mini trophies for the winner, and then a big trophy that I would keep in the room pretending it was mine, with like names on the side and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I actually want to buy a real one and not like make a fake one out of wood. Have you guys seen any of the trophies that I've made out of wood? Check this out. I didn't win it this year. Mr. Houlihan won it this year. But this is our fantasy baseball trophy. It's a real baseball at the top. Just saying. Be jealous. But we have a consistent trophy that we make, that I've made, where we keep track of the names. It's an honor. Yeah, out of wood. Crafting, screwing things together, spray painting. I know. Kinda. It's a real piece of crap trophy. You know? But anyway. But I do want to do that before this semester is over, because of course I'm going to be losing most of you starting at the end of January when this class switches over to cryptology. I don't know. Some of you are in cryptology, aren't you? No one raises their hands. All right, we'll see what happens then. I'll have to check my roster. I thought there were some extra people. Anyway, back to this. So what you see in front of you is something similar to what we did before we left for break. Before we left for break, we went through this process of linear regression where we inputted the field goal percentage of the team and tried to determine if field goal percentage equated to a wins for an NBA team, and tried to come up with an equation that could potentially model that situation. Now I have a different set of data in front of you in which we are going to attempt to do something similar with linear regression. These are the Olympic pole vault records in the 20th century. Now, as you can see, sometimes the number does not change. That just simply means that the record was not broken. So please keep that in mind. And there are some notes along the side where we are not actually going to enter in the year 1900 into the calculator. Instead, as the note implies, you are to put in 0 for 1900, 4 for 1904, etc., because we are indicating that the X value is the number of years since 1900. So what I'm going to need each of you to do, because this is the practice that you're going to have to get, have those graphing calculators open on your computer, hit stat, hit edit, and you should be in a system of lists as we've done in the past. And I'll bring that up on my computer as well so I can have the comparison. There we go. Stat, edit, and you will come to a series of lists that you can see right here. And what I'm going to need everyone to do, because you need the practice with it, I need you to enter in the data that is on your worksheet. Now, for the sake of the year, again, 1900, I would just do 0, enter, no big deal there. Then 4, then 6, and I just follow the chart all the way down. 8, and then 12, and then 20. No, I missed one. 8, and then 12, and then 20, and then 24, and then I'd keep going from there. In the second column, I would enter in the number as is, 3.3, 3.5, 3.5, and I'd keep going from there. So take the next little block of time, the next few minutes, enter in that data, double check to make sure that your data is typed in correctly, and then we'll talk about what that next step is. I'm going to do the same. And like I said, if you are off by a number, it can easily be fixed. Absolutely. Look what I got up here. Because it's the number of years since 1900. There we go. While you guys are still typing those, I'll just give you the heads up. Your fantasy football final projects from the end of the last December. So I'm hopefully going to be entering grades for those before the end of this week. So keep in mind that I've already begun going through some of them. Pretty happy, actually. I'm pretty happy with some of the results that I've gotten. But we'll talk about that when the time is more appropriate. Pole vaulting has got to be one of the scariest events I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever seen somebody go in a video with like a pole vault and then they mess up at the top and it's like you literally are like however many feet in the air and there's this giant stick underneath your body as your body starts coming down? No one knows what I'm talking about? All right, fine. Have you ever seen people impaled on a pole vault? It's as scary as a javelin. Now, just taking the next step with this, again, this is stuff that we did before break. But I wanted to show you how to get that particular line of best fit. But first, let's take a look at the scatter plot. I need to turn on a plot. Anyone remember where I'm supposed to go for this? I need to turn on a plot in order to see what the scatter plot looks like. Ooh. Is there anything on your calculator that might be helpful towards getting that? Oh no, they don't remember. So sad. What's written above your y equals key? Yay, we did it. Stat plot. If you hit second y equals, it'll take you to your stat plot. Hey, just for the sake of argument, do you guys have the same like color notation like blue, red, and green? Okay, cool. Held ones, they're not in color, obviously. Same thing with most of the 84s, but it's really cool that you guys actually have the different like color combinations. Anyway, second y equals will take you to stat plot. Hit enter, turn it on, and everything should be set. Everything should be set already. It's automatically set to scatter plot. L1 and L2 were set. Everything's good to go. What other colors do they have? Oh, snap. That's a lot more than I thought. I'm going to put mine in magenta because I can. So if I hit graph, boom. Oh, that's weird. I can't see everything. If I hit graph, I only got 4 points. Oh, so it's my window. But you don't go to window. You go to zoom. What zoom function are we interested in? If you hit zoom, which zoom function might be helpful to us? Say what? Zoom in won't help. You know why? Zoom in the graph like that, and I can see nothing now. It's your 9th option. Zoom stat. You hit number 9, it'll actually show you what the heck is going on with this thing. Now, seeing the scatter plot is an important thing. Seeing the scatter plot is an important thing because it shows you whether or not your data has some sort of linear relationship, which clearly a number of years have gone on. You can see that the pole vaulting record has continued, ever so slightly as it is, to go up. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. People have discussed these reasons in the past. What might you speculate? Why would you expect someone who's pole vaulting in the Olympics today to be vaulting at a higher height than those back in 1910? What might have happened? I can't say that they're better athletes, but what has changed over the course of time? I think everyone's all broken today. Oh no. It's happened. Either that or I've gone deaf. No. I guess we'll leave that up in the air for the time being. We'll circle back around to that. If I look at the worksheet that I gave you, part A is asking for you to find the regression line for the data. Now, in the past, whether it be in middle school, let's say, in middle school, you possibly had to draw these things by hand. And then actually, but in this case, I'm going to have the calculator do it for me. I am going to have the calculator do it for me. Here's what you need to do. Stat. Calc. And these are things that are written down from previous class periods. And LinReg. If you hit stat and then calc, tab over to calc technically, and then go down to the fourth option, LinReg, it'll bring you to this screen where, again, don't change anything. Going to go down to calculate. These are the numbers that you should have gotten. These are the numbers that you should have gotten. Let me write something down on my paper because I'm going to need this information for a little bit later on. Now, obviously, you're not going to write down this whole thing, but I'm going to write down just the rounded numbers that we got going on here. That's appropriate. Let me flip over here. Zoom up. That's what I wrote down. Y hat equals 0.028x plus 3.4. That is the equation of the regression line that the calculator actually figures out. Now, there's a lot of technical detail that goes into how that equation was found, but obviously that is not necessary for what we are hoping to do here. It says, part B, make a scatter plot of the data on your calculator and graph the regression line. Now, we have the scatter plot, but I would like to put the line directly on the calculator as well. So the way that we would do that, if you go back to your calculator, y equals, and you simply just have to type in the equation that is needed. On your guys' calculators on your Chromebooks, do you ever have the issue where if you mistype something and you hit like backspace, does it delete everything in that line? What the heck, right? Is there a way to overcome that, or have you guys like just been dealing with it? Okay. Because that really stinks. Anyway, if you hit graph there, ba-bow, you can see that line of best fit. Now, the question on the worksheet says, does the regression line appear to be a suitable model for the data? And I would say, yeah, with a few key exceptions. With a few key exceptions. I mean, there seems to be some kind of a weird little gap thingy going on here. I mean, I'd have to do more research into the actual goings on of those particular years. But with the exception of those points, everything seems to be pretty spot on. I mean, it does seem to kind of tail off a little bit up here. I mean, obviously, there is a limit. There is a limit to how high a human being can jump with the pole vault. There has to be some kind of a limit. Do you guys know the story behind the marathon? Do you know how the marathon first became named the marathon, or why it's 26.2 miles? You don't? All right, cool. Ancient story of Greece, there was a battle that happened, and the Greek army had won the battle. And they wanted the guy, or this one guy, said, hey, we need to get news to Athens that we won this battle. Go now. And so the guy ran. And it took him a full 24 hours to run from Marathon, Greece to Athens. And it was approximately 26.2 miles. And he ran over the course of 24 hours, and then he dropped dead after having said they won the battle. So in honor of his achievement, we call it the marathon, not after his name, but the place that he ran from. Now, it took him a full 24 hours. Do you guys know what the world record is for the marathon today? What the approximate world record is? 26.2. What's the approximate record for running the marathon today? 55 what? Wow. That's a bit much. It's about 2 hours. It's about 2 hours. We're reaching the limit of human achievement. So as time goes on, it makes sense that things would tend to tail off a little bit. Just as a side note. With the marathon, I mean, we're reaching, again, the limit of human achievement. With running the 100-meter dash or the 200-meter dash, with the exception of Usain Bolt, we are reaching the pinnacle of human achievement. I don't know how much better we can get. But now we got this. So I would say yes, but if I had to go into more details, I could argue something. Well, let's look at part C. Use the model to predict the record pole vault height for the 2004 Olympics. Then it says to find the actual record height and by whom. We'll research that in a moment. Is this a good prediction? Well, I don't know. How do I use the equation that I have written at the top of the page right here and the year 2004 in order to make that prediction? How do I use the year 2004 and that equation in order to make the prediction? Any suggestions? Present in the context of my problem. What does X represent in the context of my problem? Everyone's asleep and they don't want to answer. More specific, not just getting closer. Number of years since 1900. So for the year 2004, what number does that represent? 104. The X value in this case is 104. What do you think I'm going to do with that X value? Yeah, that's literally all I'm going to do. Chapow. 0.028 times 104 plus 3.4. That gives me a height of 6.312. Somebody Google it real quick. 2004 Olympic pole vault. Somebody Google it. 2004 Olympic pole vault. That is not the actual value. I have no idea because I did not bother to look it up before this class period. Now, if somebody finds it, please obviously shout it out. But at the same time, someone else confirm that they got the right answer. Sure. For the 2004 Olympics. 4.91. Someone confirm that? Who got it? Hold on. Oh, this person? Interesting. This person wins the pole vault. I found a video.
Baker was born in 2014.
This is a commercial.
He was diagnosed at
I'm assuming that's her. The music is epic. Sorry, you said it was 4.91?
Yeah.
I don't know why they wear that gold. Like, that gold chain is in her mouth right now. You'll see that? I guess this is it. This is the 4.91 then. And she already broke the world record or something, right? Be that epic. Just saying, the music is pretty intense. Back to this. So, the actual record, 4.91. How does that compare to the predicted record? I mean, would you say that that's a bit off? Wow. Let me go back to my scatter plot. Nope, right there. Here we go. Graph. Trace on that. There we go. 104 is about right. Oh, come on, you. Trace on that. Trace. There we go. Okay. 104 is about right there. You see that blinking line in the top right corner? That blinking dot, I should say, in the top right corner. That is the predicted value right there. That's the predicted value. We got about 6 and change because I can't get 104. Oh, I think I can get 104 exactly on there. But the actual number was a bit lower. Yep, there it is. The actual number was a bit lower. Like I said, that makes sense to an extent. There is a limit to human achievement. There is a limit to how high we can jump. It's just, we can't just keep going forever. It's like, I think about like the Rubik's Cube, for example, because you guys know, some of you know that I solved the Rubik's Cube. The current world record for the Rubik's Cube has got to be, it's like 3.6, 3.7 seconds. Current world record for a single solve on the Rubik's Cube. It can't keep getting lower and lower forever. Eventually, someone's going to solve it in like, what, 1 second? 0.1 seconds? Like, I don't know how far this thing can actually go. But obviously, with a linear regression, this thing expects that it's going to continue going up forever. But obviously, unless we become cyborgs, that's not going to happen. Ugh. Today? Good question. Hold on. Pole vault record wiki. Hold on. Let's go to the women's just because of that. Oh, wait a minute. Are these the men or the women? Oh, because you found Sam, you found the women's record. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Because hold on, what about the 2004 men's pole vault? Because perhaps that's not what we have. The men's pole vault, 5.95. Ooh. I got to go back to here. I got to change that now. Wow, that was a bit much. 5.95. I'm sorry. You can slap him for that if you want. I'll look the other way. Now, that's a bit closer. That actually is a bit closer. That's a bit nicer, fitting to the data that actually was. That's crazy. 5.95. The men's pole vaulting record today, that's record progression. The record today is 6.18, which was set in 2020. That's interesting. Over 20 feet. Yeah, it's over 20 feet. 20 feet in the air. That's pretty insane, right? Huh. That's got to be more than 20 feet. The high school.
Maybe the lower one.
Like, how tall would you say the ceiling is? The ceiling's got to be like 10 feet by itself, right? No. Whatever. We'll do it another time. All right. They asked for the prediction record pole vault for the 2008 Olympics. What was the actual gold medal height and by whom? Is this a good prediction? Well, let's do that prediction one more time right here. 0.028 times 108 plus 3.4. The prediction was 6.424. The prediction is 6.424 for 2008. And I will look up in a moment the actual 2004 Olympics. I'm not going to bother with the 2012 right now. I'm actually more interested in how tall this room is. Look what you did. You made me try to figure out how tall the building is now. Hold on, 2008 Olympics. 2008. Look at his hair. There. 5.96. 5.96. That's not too far off from 2004. Actual. I don't know. Look at how much the prediction increased from 2004 to 2008. And look how much the actual record increased from 2004 to 2008. Obviously, when you're making predictions into the future, things aren't going to match up exactly the way that you want it to, even if you have all of this data in the world to back it up. It's pretty insane. I asked the question again that I asked earlier. If you had a pole vaulter from 2020 and a pole vaulter from 1920, who would you expect to win in an Olympic matchup? Why? Let's assume that the person from 1920 time traveled. Let's say they're the same age. A pole vaulter from 1920 competing against a pole vaulter from 2020. Let's just say they're the same age. Who would win? Why? I'm saying they time traveled. They have the same level of experience. They're not like 100 years old. What? But why 2020? Why would the 2020 athlete win? We have better training today. What else do we have that's better than 1920? Better what? Holes? Oh, poles. Sorry, I think you said holes. Like, that's weird. But yeah, you have better equipment. You have better athletic training gear that you're wearing. Like wearing whatever outfit that was with, like, I don't know, the way the pole was all set up and stuff like that. They didn't have that kind of stuff back in the day. Something like that. You never know. Hold on, I gotta look it up. Hold on. It's actually really interesting to me. Here's an images from, look at that.
Grammarly can help you write
Hold on.
quickly and confidently, so you never.
This is pole vault highlights from 1924. I would say that even the techniques today are better, you know? Also, look, they're like, when they're pole vaulting, they're only pole vault, their hands are like a quarter of the way up the pole. I don't know how good their equipment was. That's just so funny. Now I gotta say how tall this room is. Hold on. So, Anthony, you're arguing that the height of this building is 20 feet?
Building, maybe not this part, but the lower part. Is this the lower part?
The lower part. Hold on.
Where's the back?
Hold on. I got this. So this is 6 feet right here. That's 9 feet. This room by itself is about 9 feet and change. I don't know, but then of course there's like stuff in between. So at a bare minimum, it's 18 feet. Stuff in between. I don't know. I would argue that it's like 30 feet. I don't know. You should pole vault it. See what happens. Anyway, like I said, we're gonna pick up with more of this on Thursday. We're gonna take it a little bit farther, see how it goes. I'm gonna have more information for you, and we'll just see what happens. For all you online, goodbye.